Hey YouTubers, I've been feeling a bit under the weather lately, and my voice might sound a bit weird in this episode because I'm a bit congested and coffee. And I thought what else to do but make a short professional video. The interesting thing about this is, I made this channel with the intent of talking about math, but the first actual video I make is going to be about science. And you know what? That's probably just because I am an insane mathematician. No, seriously, I'm an insane mathematician. It's on my Tumblr right there, check it out. Anyway, because I'm a bit under the weather, I've been thinking, what exactly is it that's inside of me that's causing me to feel so congesty and coffee and generally terrible? Now, the common cold is actually one of around 200 viruses that could be inside me right now. That's 200 different viruses, so really I have no idea exactly what's inside me, but it's fun to muse at the possibilities. What I'm most likely infected with, though, is a kind of rhinovirus. This rhinovirus is pretty cool because it has icosahedral symmetry, the same kind as a soccer ball. So, while I'm all down in the dumps and coughing and sneezing, my white blood cells might just be screaming, "Goal! Goal!
Equalizer.
Goal!"
And the defender, Roland Juhasz.
Another group of viruses known for causing the common cold are coronaviruses. The reason I find coronaviruses interesting is that they have a ridiculously enormous genome. And this ridiculously large genome is between 26,000 and 32,000 base pairs. And this ridiculously large genome is between 26,000 and 32,000 base pairs. And when I knew that, it was only a small step to ask, exactly how much information is in my cold? It might sound stupid, but it's a really interesting question to ask, just how much information is stocked in one of these viruses. First, I'm going to exactly define information. I have a pencil. The exact unit of information used in computer science is the bit, or an answer to a yes or no question. Now, the question is, how much information is there in one base pair? As you may or may not have learned in high school biology, DNA consists of 4 base pairs, A, C, G, and T. As you've probably noticed by now, and if you haven't, please go to the eye doctor, I have the letters that they stand for on my fingers, and the reason is that I'm just making things a little bit clearer because it wasn't clear to me in the beginning at all. On the left, I have purines, and on the right, I have pyrimidines. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but if I'm wrong, citation needed. So, why do I have them on my 2 fingers? So I can demonstrate the fact that each base pair is 2 bits. Is it a purine or a pyrimidine? That's pretty much a yes or no question because I could just ask, is it a pyrimidine or is it a purine? And they'd have to say yes or no. So, purines, pyrimidines. Is it a purine? Yes. Is it A? Yes. However, I couldn't ask, is it A or G or C or T, because that isn't a yes or no question. Each time I have to be able to ask a yes or no question. Now, asking if it's A or G or C or T in one question doesn't quantify a bit, but you could do each of them in 4 separate questions, but then instead of being 2 bits, it'd be 4 bits, and you're wasting space because only one of those bits is actually going to be a yes. So each base pair is 2 bits. So back to the coronavirus, a maximum of 32,000 base pairs, each base pair being 2 bits, 64,000 bits. 64,000 bits, 64,000 yes or no questions to define a single little thing inside of me. And think about 20 questions. That's only 20 bits, and do you have any idea how much we can figure out with that? 64,000 bits is about 8 kilobytes, and a page out of an encyclopedia might be around 10. And I'm not talking about every single virus inside of me. I'm not talking about the combined genes of all of the viruses. I'm talking about just one. If your mind hasn't exploded enough learning about how much stuff is going on while you have the common cold, then I should probably send you a certificate deeming that you are not using your computer correctly right now. I don't know how many viruses are in the average sick human being, but surely it's a pretty big number. Then while I was scooping around, I ended up finding something even more interesting: the length of the average base pair. You know those interesting facts that are tossed around at parties or something like, yes, if you took the human intestinal tract and stretched it from end to end, you would die. Well, not that fact, that's fairly obvious. I mean the fact Yes, if you took the human intestinal tract and stretched it from end to end, it would be over 20 feet long. When I first heard that, I was absolutely befuddled. 20 feet? I'm not even 20 feet tall. Well, pretty simply, the reason that it can be so long is because it twists and turns and bends around. So how long is the virus inside of me? The length of the thing inside of me. I'm a terrible person. Well, I was actually kind of disappointed when I learned the answer, and I should have been expecting it a bit more. One virus is only about 22 nanometers long when it comes to its DNA. For example, it's about 1/4 of the diameter of the average human hair. It's about 1/5 of the thickness of this paper. In the end, though, that means that the virus inside of me, and all my human cells for that matter, are far better at storing information than my computer could be probably in my entire lifetime. So, I managed to touch on information theory, biology, and fractal curves, but I didn't actually say it. But anyway, this is probably a really successful first episode. So, 3 cheers and probably a cough or a sniffle for Insane Math Episode 1.